Well, we can break down the recap of the week.
Nah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, the fucking minor hoops. I'm over here cussing off the early.
Yeah,
YouTube gonna get
crazy.
us monetized.
You can't monetize it all off that joint.
I'm acting like millions of people watching this. It's probably gonna be about 5. And shout out to y'all 5. Y'all in this joint. You know what I'm saying?
I was saying, if we got 5, we got a good number. It's live.
Hey, live 5. Talk
Live
about it.
5.
But yeah, minor hoops. We was down at the USCAA basketball national or small college national championship.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for about 3 days straight.
Yes.
So, how'd you fuck with? There we go again. How was it for you, bro? How did you enjoy commentating, play-by-play commentary? You know, we was live on the air.
Nah, that's crazy to me. Speaking of cussing, I realized I can't really play super competitive basketball without like going crazy, and I should probably pray over me and wash my mouth out with soap. But like, I really like I do after school programs, so I was like. It's a kid's shot. I was like, dang, this. I was like, oh, I can't say that with a kid. Yikes. All right. You start getting competitive. I was like, oh, snap.
Thanks.
But, man, it was cool, man, just being able to, like, get off of work. And just, go do some stuff that's, like, love. It came, like, kind of like second nature. You know what I'm saying? Just rapping, talking basketball, kind of going back and forth. I could do that for days. It kind of got taxing. Like I did like 3 or 4 games in a row, so that was one thing. But it was love. Like seeing the people go out, the players, the athletes come out and play. I think my favorite game to watch was probably the game I wasn't actually commentating on.
Mm-hmm.
That was the school UPenn. I also liked my last game I was commenting on too. I forget what it was. It was like
they run together once you started.
They all run together, but apprenticeship school was pretty cool to watch. Their women's team because I didn't think they were gonna win that game at all.
Yeah, that was a real good game. Like I wasn't expecting that at all.
They had a point guard that she wasn't gonna shoot, and she almost didn't get back on defense half the time. Definitely when she didn't get a call, but somehow, some way, ended up with 6 steals. Ended up with probably like 10 points at least. Like it was like, oh snap, that's a hooper. You know, she knows when she needs to be in the game and when she doesn't need to be in the game. So
right.
And he had a short bench, so it was pretty cool, man. What was your experience like? You spent the whole day down there yesterday. What was that about?
Yeah, yesterday was kind of insane. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was there from 8 to 9.
Jesus.
Just none but basketball.
Yeah, you had another fish sandwich? Them fish sandwiches was banging. I don't know who cooked those fish sandwiches, but them joints was banging.
Yeah, the salmon joint. Oh man, I wish I got his name, but I think it was like Mo and the Family. I saw it on the square card. Shout out to you, bro.
I need that.
Hey, I had a cheesesteak today.
Cheesesteak was crazy.
It was all right.
Yeah, I seen somebody order that joint. That would have put me straight to hell. But
For sure, bro. But yeah, no, yesterday there 8 to 9. Today I was there 10 about 3. The internet ended up shutting down, so we didn't even have to do the second half of the second to last game. Didn't do the last game, got up out of there. But it was straight, bro. Like you said, second nature. It felt like we always talk basketball, so it was just like, yo, we already do this. Let's just do it on air. Yeah. We actually had a parent come up and was like, yo, my sister has been watching the games. She's at home, but she said she wanted to let y'all know, like, whoever's doing the commentating, they're doing a phenomenal job.
That's crazy.
And I was like, I feel like Mike Green. I feel like Mark Jackson in this job. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
I had so many more one-liners I really wanted to get off.
But we was talking about that today. We was like, yo, Trey was really going crazy yesterday trying to get all them jumps off. They weren't catching some of them, like when you and Tamon was doing it and you said, yo, like Jada, she out here setting it off. He slid past that. I couldn't go past that, bro. I was like, ain't no way he really hit that.
No, Jada LB, shout out to her. What school was that? Jada LB that was a apprenticeship school. Yeah, Jada LB. Excuse me if I'm getting your name wrong. We'll put it out and we'll add apprenticeship school, whatever like that. And sorry if I'm putting you on blast, but you played a phenomenal game. The whole squad, of course, played a phenomenal game. You, Miss Ray, the point guard I was just talking about, but out of love, because I was like, how she not get back at 6 steals and stuff like that? But you played it to perfection, man. And you were everywhere on the court. We were like, yo, Jada. I was like, yo, I had to set it off bar in the back of my head. I need to do more of that.
Bro, we hit them up. Afterwards, we was like, yo, if y'all doing this, anything, y'all got anything, I'll pull up.
Yeah, I'll soccer game, football, baseball, whatever.
Commentate.
Lacrosse, like whatever it is.
They're going to be back in Virginia next year. So they said we a lot.
We would have, yeah. It's easy.
And that's how you do it. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, it's called entrepreneurship. That's how you secure the bag.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, entrepreneurship doesn't come with healthcare unless you pay the bag on it. That's the only thing that's stopping me from quitting my day job.
You know what I'm saying? You need it. you need to take care of yourself.
No, man. What you got coming down the pipe? Any goals for the spring and summer?
Yeah, man. Really trying to lock in on this editing that I got going on. Okay. That's big right now. Actually got a gig end of December, so I'll say January is when I really got started. Okay. I already got my first promotion, quote unquote.
Nice.
So
nice.
2.5 months, and it's already like, hey, we see what you're doing. We're gonna go ahead.
Throw some B's on that.
Yeah, I said, okay, you fucking with me, I'm fucking with you, but whatever. So definitely trying to get that going. If I'm looking at the bingo card, remember I did the bingo card, so that's really what I'm trying to hone in on, and I haven't been doing it for the past month or so. Like some things here and there I'm reading. Of course, I'm doing the editing, but I had some things like I want to work with EYL. I wanted to work with Eric Thomas, Secret to Success crew, things of that nature. But I think that all comes in time with, the stuff I'm starting on. I was really thinking about this week for sure, kind of just honing in on the stuff that's bringing me bread. So like, did this week, which was really dope. Nice little paycheck there. But also with the editing, I was like, I had the interview with Justin, the e-com coach, when I went down to Atlanta, and it just hit me that he said it, but it didn't resonate when I was listening to him.
Yeah.
But it came back and he was just like, yo, I didn't like blow myself up, I blew the brand up, and then came out and was like, hey, that's me. So now you have something to stand on to be like, hey, I made this thing it, rather than trying to be like, hey, I'm AJ and I'm it.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm trying to do right now with the editing thing. Now, I can, on that resume builder, be like, yo, I took them from where they was at here and now it's here. And then also blow that up. So when it's up and people are like, yo, who was the brains behind this? I can be like, hey. Yeah. Then I can start saying, hey, this is me, AJ, and people are going to want to talk to you that way.
And I feel like that's one of those things where it helps lead to passive income because you don't have to be there if the brand is there, exactly. But the brand is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, and again, us, like, we're people, like, and somebody will fall in love with us very, very easily. Not even in a romantic sense, but just from the way we go about doing business, and definitely when it comes to stuff we were talking about last week, coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've always thought about coaching as like, I can't clone myself. You can't, but realistically, you can.
Yeah,
you can. You just have to set a parameter, set goals. Like that's what organizations are. That's what franchises are. It's like, hey, we're gonna put this burger shop here. It's gonna be the same as that burger shop down the street. This is what we do. Boom, boom, boom. So what do you do? If you want to scale it, cool. If you want to have a mom and pop and that's your baby, do that. But if you also want to scale it, cool. I think there's a balance between a lot of stuff when it comes to that, too. It's like some things you're going to have and it is going to be your baby.
Right.
Nobody's touching that.
Exactly.
But I'll give this to the world.
Exactly. Exactly. What are some goals that you got? I know we was talking about, a whole bunch of stuff with coaching and all that, and then kind of the passions with DJing. You got any, like, specific goals that you're trying to hit? Into Q1, going into Q2?
Man, I was talking about this the other day, man. I skipped all the New Year, New Me stuff, the whole, like, goals for 2023 thing. I haven't even done my bingo card, my vision board, stuff like that, too. I just haven't took any of that stuff extra freaking seriously. Not saying that I don't take stuff seriously, but just like, all right, yo. Or, like, yo, even, like, the gym stuff. I'm like, yo, like, I'm going to go hoop regardless. Cool, whatever.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing for me is I got to set aside the time to plan and set aside the time because, like, I do stuff well, but I could be more efficient. I could be better. I could be, like my biggest problem is not that I can't do anything I put my mind to. My biggest problem is I can do anything I put my mind to, and when I get done doing it, I'm like, damn, what can I do next?
Exactly.
I get tired.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
sidetracked by trying to do everything instead of just honing in on one.
Busy bastard. That's what they call it.
That's the big thing. That's the biggest thing for me as well, man. Because last year, I tried to do a whole bunch of like different things that I wasn't really passionate about. Just trying to chase the bread, make sure I'm straight. Mm-hmm. But like this year, I'm like, okay, let's try and really get efficient at something. And then, like you're saying, that's the system in place where then you can scale. So, like, take my editing role, for example. It's not paying the bills by any facet. It's taking care of a portion of stuff. But, like, imagine in 2 months I already got the bump. Now, imagine 2 more months, start Q2. So, like, say each quarter I got to increase. And then from there, I'm already increasing the skill. Now I just franchise it, take it to another company that says, hey, I'm already doing this for one company over here. Let me do this for you.
Absolutely.
And that's just the scale there. So that's what I'm really trying to hone in on because I think that's going to give me the freedom and peace that I really want. Like, of course, you go to your 9 to 5 or whatever, it really takes care of what you need to take care of because it's serving a purpose. But, like, when you have that purpose mixed with your passion, it's like I'm waking up and just enjoying what I'm doing rather than saying, no, I'm going here just to get this thing paid, get this thing taken care of. And that's huge for me right now because, like you said, we're in the moment now. And I had that idea of, like, hey, even though you're in it, this is the time where you can really separate. You can really,
Absolutely.
you don't have to get stuck in this rat race or this matrix, as everybody call it, and you can really separate yourself. You just got to take the time to do it. And I think this is the route I would like to take. And then, 10 years down the line, I don't want to do this no more. I'll try something else. But I'm really trying to hone in on this at the moment.
If you could, and I'm going to take this question to another question. If you could put a name on this chapter of your life or this moment or this chapter of your progression within this moment, that wouldn't be a chapter of your life. That gets very vast. But if you could put a name on this chapter, what would it be?
The moment that I'm having right now is, I would call it darkness.
Okay. All right.
And I'm over here.
I love darkness, my own friend.
For sure, though, because, like, if you really looked at it, and darkness has this, like, negative connotation to it where it's like, yo, you can't see, you don't know what's going on. But in that moment of darkness, you start to try and find light.
It's duality.
Yeah, so, like, it got dark. And it got to a point where you're like, yo, what is going on with my life? Like, really trying to find yourself. Right. I lost one of my really good friends last year, and you start questioning, like, all right, what do I really want to do with life? Like, bro was about to be 30. You about to be 30 in a couple years. Let's start mapping some things out for sure. But
I thought you was like saying I'm about to be 30 and I am about to be 30. I almost fought you. I was like, I'm not 30. No, but I am 30.
Exactly,
I'm about to be 30.
I'm about to be there. It's crazy. We on the back half.
Bro,
we're going downhill.
I mean, downhill in the 20s, but up in the life standpoint, it's funny, man. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
About darkness. Yeah. I'm going to get into all this. My mind.
You. But so like I was saying, like darkness with last year, closing a chapter on basketball, and now you started matching like, all right, I'm really 1 year, I would say like a year and probably a couple of months in of like, all right, we're not chasing basketball no more. Like you really trying to figure out what's the next path for you. So there's an expedited feature because, you're on the back half of your 20s and people are like, yo, you should be stamped with something, just how social media and life is in society. But at the same time, if you really think about it, I'm 1 year removed of
what you did your whole entire life.
Exactly.
You're 1 year old.
I've really just changed my whole life path.
You're 1 year old.
And I'm exactly like you said, when we in middle school, like I'm in elementary just trying to figure out how do I function in corporate America if you want to be there, and now that you don't want to be there and you realize that, how do you function as an entrepreneur? Like a whole bunch of things that you're trying to figure out in 1 year, but really trying to accommodate it because you have these societal pressures on you. So it was dark, but I think I've moved fast enough where I'm starting to find a little light. I see the sliver of hope where it's like, okay, if you really lock in, things can take off real quick. So
how have you stayed disciplined within your beginning journey? Because I feel like that beginning stage, that training wheel, or just now getting your training wheels off stage of a lot of things, that can get to people. You know what I'm saying? Because they might go back into a vice, which we all, we balance discipline, being young men, becoming a fullness of a man that might be in his quote unquote prime or whatever it is in his late 20s and stuff like that. How do you keep yourself disciplined and keep that feeling and that vibrancy up when you're just now starting something?
I think I just figured it out because honestly, if you asked me this like last year, I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't have known. Like I knew I was an upbeat type of person, but like you said, knowing yourself to then scale it. If you start looking at like You Incorporated, and I think that's from Dave Ramsey. I didn't make that up, but like you want to figure out you are a business. Like you have to take care of yourself first. So really trying to get to the root of who am I as a person? What brings me up? What gets me down? How do I find these flow states, and what really gets me into those flow states? Because you wake up in the morning and it's like you get in this habit loop of just like, all right, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But you don't really know like, oh, this is what gets me going. This is what, okay, I need to do this if I'm feeling down. So I think I just figured that out, and that's really just getting into a routine of hey, as soon as I get up, I'm going to go downstairs, brush my teeth, and then whatever I need to do. Normally, I try and do the gym. Attack the hardest thing that is for me at the moment. Try and get that out the way. But really figuring out what it is for me that I need to create like this structure. Because I was so focused on a lifestyle of freedom, and I've read the books and I understood it, but I was like, you always try to shortcut it or bypass the system of like, oh, I want this ultimate freedom where I could just choose what I want to do with my life, and I could just wake up whenever and do this whenever. And of course that comes, but it really comes with the discipline of sticking to a schedule.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as you have the schedule and as soon as you make something habitual, it goes into autopilot. You never think about it anymore. It just becomes part of your everyday life, which gives you the freedom to start thinking of these bigger projects, start thinking of these other ideas, rather than every day I wake up and I'm like, what do I need to do with my life?
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I gotta look at something and I gotta write it down, then I gotta attack it. Rather than, hey, I know I get up, I do this, I knock it all out. Now I can think of this bigger picture of like, oh, I got all this time because I did everything I needed to do. Let's get after it.
You know what hinders us, or I feel like hinders a generation, or however you want to say it. We can put ourselves in a collective here for our listeners or whatever like
Right.
that. And even people reach out, comment, say whatever about this, because we can continue this conversation even online. I love this. It's so, I'm going to say superficial in a certain way. It's so superficial to me, like, we'll get it. We'll start on track with something that our goal. We'll start on track with something, and I get it. Like for your purposes, for media and stuff like that, post it. But we'll post it, or we'll just say, hey, I'm doing this, and it's like you haven't even got it down in your head that you're doing it. Right now, you're only doing it to post it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you don't have intentions to keep going, but then you're like, all right, cool, boom, boom, and then now you've created false accountability partners within your online community. If it's a friend, it's like, oh, AJ, boom, I like the stuff where people tag people like, oh, I'm in the gym, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's kind of accountability. That's kind of like a chain. That's cool. But I feel like we kind of kill dreams very early on because we invite a peanut gallery into something that doesn't need a peanut gallery.
Right.
There's sometimes that's in-house stuff. It should just happen.
Yeah.
There's some places you should grow in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like nobody gets the chance to be ugly anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody,
I'm so glad you said that, because that's what I wanted to come in and talk about. Because so transparent moment here. Okay. I said I was gonna post our stuff Tuesday. It's now Wednesday.
Thursday in a business standpoint.
Exactly. when this comes out, it'll probably be Thursday, because now I'm actually on it. I ain't even get to it.
Yeah, I understand.
So and I really got in my head of like perfection, where it was like, okay, that's why this looks different now where the lights are off and this light is on, because I looked at this camera and it was all crazy. I couldn't even put my LUTs on it. Then, of course, we had the issue with the Zoom recorder. Mics weren't on. Then my phone died. All that went off. And it was like, yo, I don't want to show myself being ugly. Why would I go on social media being ugly? And everybody pretty, everybody beautiful.
Yeah,
who gonna get the love being ugly? But I saw this post and bro was like, yo, I have no problem coming online showing you I'm ugly, because when I get right, there's the proof. Absolutely. It ain't like I just came out here and said, hey, look at me. I got myself done. I got myself together. It's like, hey, I showed you my beginning. And I think that's going to be the beautiful part when I get past it, because we'll actually do that. But actually just saying, you know what? Whatever we do, put it out, because it's only going to get better over time. But you get in your head in this darkness of like, hey, bro, this ain't social media worthy. But that's not the point of what it looks like. It's the intention behind it.
And then taking that to a grander scale, I mean, look at how we put ourselves on a pedestal in a lot of aspects in life, and then we're only doomed to reach the bottom or reach our depths because we've only come at the highest we're soaring. And that might be our mountaintop at the time. So that means with all the eyes on you, with everything on you, you're only destined to go, down into your valley and come back up. But people are, they think you are your mountaintop or that mountaintop, not understanding that, hey, I'm probably going to roll down here into this valley and come back up into a higher peak because, everybody wants, I think I saw something was like everybody wants consistency. I wish my life was consistent. It was cool. But a life of, and follow me here. consistency or just, I understand what everything's going to happen. I know what everything's going to happen. It looks like this is a flat line. When you're alive, things go up and down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the heartbeat of it, and you have to trust in your higher power, trust in yourself, trust in the universe. However you decide to give, put faith in whatever you put faith in, but you have to trust in that and in that thing in yourself to know that there was something I was reading. It was the guy and Joe talked to him, and I started reading. I listening to his book. The guy that did the track across Alaska. And he talked about, man, like, you're going to have a lot of ones. Like, you're going to have a lot of ones, and you're going to have a lot of fives. Like, the fives is everyday life, kicking it, 5, 6, boom, boom, boom. The 7s, the 8 are the stuff that you probably like, oh, like, this is a really cool moment for me. The ones are your low points, but you have to use those ones and build the 10s. I was talking to one of my ladies, she's like my Richmond mom, so shout out to Seven Stones, Ife over on 2nd Street. And she was, we were just going back and forth about some stuff, and she had a big moment. She had like a opening of her shop or whatever like that. She's like, yeah, I just, it happened, it's done, it's boom, boom, boom. I was like, well, like, cool, be in this moment then. Like, this is a 10. This is a 10. Like, and we talk, on a personal level all the time, so it's like, I know that you know. So all these things that might have been a 5 for you, cool, a regular day, and all these things that might have been a 2, 3, a 1 for you,
right.
Like, all those built up to be a 10.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? All those moments built up for you to have this moment and be a 10. So why not live in that moment? Why not be there, be present? Because, your friends and me who's viewing you, I'm gonna see those things and try to push you back towards a 10. A lot of times I feel like we give, and I'm rambling here, so but I'm cooking, right? So I feel like it's not an evil eye type thing, but it's almost evil eye. It's like you present yourself so soon when you haven't really made it up in your mind. Like, yo, this is public opinion. This, that, and the third. Now, if you present it with the game plan of like, yo, this is me. This is who I am. Like,
right.
This is me on a 5. All right, cool. And you tough enough for that, cool. But if you're trying to play that social media game, that algorithm game, that game of like, yo, I'm gonna play ball up here every time. It's like, bro, that's not the league you want to be in, because you have to be on 10 every time. And I promise you, nobody is on 10.
Exactly.
So the idea of a celebrity is, what I'm saying?
It's so far gone. And I saw Dame talking about it with JJ on the Old Man in 3 when he was saying, yo, this NBA that he's in now isn't the NBA that he came into, right? And he was saying, bro, it's the paraphrasing, but it was almost like he said the clout was getting to the players where they live to the standard of I'm an NBA player rather than like, yo, I'm a dude who's just in the NBA. Dame saying, yo, I got real friends that come up to Portland and they just stay there with me for a couple weeks and we just kick it and do what normal people do, not just like, yo, I have to live this celebrity lifestyle where I go
store,
out all
let's
the
go
time.
to the strip club.
Yeah, or he's talked about championships and it's just like, yo, I'm living good right now, like, and I have this mindset of I want to win, but like, at what cost? Like, of what cost to what y'all are perceiving as victorious, as a champion, as successful? Where he's arguably the second best shooter in the NBA. He's arguably gonna go down as one of the top scoring point guards in the NBA in history. So, like, what does a championship do or hinder by going to super team with somebody? And then if it's a bust, I mean, I think he brought it up one time where he was like, yo, just take a look at Russell Westbrook. You start trying to chase the grass on the other side, and now it's like, hey, it could have been love in Oklahoma City. I could have made a staple. I probably would have had a statue. You know what I'm saying? And I would have been Mr. Triple-Double every year maybe.
Facts.
Like, so I really think, honing in on what you're saying there is like, be present in the moment. And you was touching on faith. You was touching on beliefs, higher power. Is there anything or what got you to that realm of saying like, yo, find trust and belief or faith in something higher than you? Because I don't think that's common knowledge where people are, known to go find faith or find belief. I think some people really, in this ego-driven world, try and find faith in themselves or belief in themselves, that ego, and then you put all this weight in the world on your shoulders, and then that's where you get crushed, rather than saying, hey, I'm going to do all I can, but I know I have this higher power kind of watching over me.
Yeah, I think and I had my friend with this one time. It was like, faith is not necessarily the what is it? Absence of things not seen, or faith is when you can't see something, and then you believe that it can't happen, pretty much.
Yeah.
But faith is the belief that, for me, if I had to really break it down further past that definition that we all know, faith is the promise that your destiny and your purpose is greater than the moment that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's faith. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, spoken word, Trey. Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, faith. That's faith to me, because I mean, there's been so many times, like, and I think, for me, if I had to just look at certain principles, and I had a deep conversation, that's why I want to. We'll get into that off air, but it's one of those things where you really live. A lot of people, we live in cycles, and we live in, like, so there could be one cycle where we're this, and we're trying to grow from this, but sometimes our next cycle might just be that, but in a different space, right? So it's like, yo, I really need this, I really need that, boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Well, here's a car, here's some money, here's your own crib. There's a cycle of that now. So the principles, the tendencies, and the disciplines you had in that last cycle, they're now going to be amplified. All right, you have it, but you make $20,000 more. You can pay for your car, you can pay for your crib. Oh, Lord, I need, or God, or universe, I need this. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Boom. A Mario mushroom. And the next cycle, and then you start getting into stuff like, so my mind's crazy, y'all. But you start getting into how dimensions are stacked on top of each other and all that stuff like that. So I went from one dimension with this amount of reality because I can afford to do this, but now I take my same self into this new realm, and I have this new realm, but I'm still me.
Right.
And of course you can still be me, but you're never going to change anything around you or the fabric of your reality unless you necessarily change yourself, change your habits, and change all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you started talking about faith and things like that, the faith is I like this the Malcolm X quote, and I'm pulling a lot of stuff from different places, but He says at the end of his book that I read, LeBron, he said, and
Get past the first page, man.
Get past the first page, bro.
God, that's disrespectful.
Crazy.
Just open in the middle or something, be like, yeah, I got this far, or something like that.
So he says, he's like, at the end of it, he's like, and to any readers, throughout my journey, I want to really get this quote, but I'll come back to it definitely in another podcast, but I'll paraphrase it here. He's like, to any readers and to anybody that have seen my journey, he says, only the mistakes were mine. All the good things came from Allah or came from God. So it always resonated with me.
James Clear said that, paraphrase as well, in Atomic Habits.
Yeah, so like only the mistakes were mine. Like, so really you have to give yourself to such a thing that is greater. You know what I'm saying? Because and this is a whole different conversation. I could talk about love. I could talk about boom, boom, boom. We might talk about who knows.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that discipline is not, oh, you can't do anything that you want. Discipline is, here are the principles so that you don't destroy all that you want and need. You know what I'm saying? Because you could get something so beautiful, and if you don't have the discipline, if you don't have the stewardship, if you don't have any of that stuff, you're going to wreck that thing. You're like, oh my gosh, it's like all those quotes about, oh, save us from ourselves. Yes, save us from ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
I would ruin my life if it was just me, man. I swear.
I'm saying.
And that makes so much sense because as you start thinking of that discipline ends up, more times than not, when I look at it, is like somebody who I'm not right now. So, of course, I'm looking at something, and that could be a future me or the higher self, is like you're saying, where it's like, okay, I need to view myself as the person I want to be. I want to step into this role of the person or the AJ who can actually handle this, because if I'm looking at it right now, I ain't got it. I don't have the discipline to wake up and do this, or have the discipline to, people ask for the millions, but like, bro, you don't even know how to invest the $10 to flip it to 20. So what you think you're going to do when you got 100,000? Yeah, it might last you a couple extra months, but like, you probably going to run through it and you're going to be in the same boat. So like, really starting small like that, faith of a mustard seed, and it's probably going to grow into something bigger. Like, really understanding that if you at the bottom or if you have this like small example of something and you have to look at it bigger. Like I'm looking at my editing role right now, even though it's not chump change. One, it's not chump change, but two, it's not taking care of everything I need. In 2 months, look what you did look what I like if I'm talking to myself right now. Look what you did in 2 months, bro. Now imagine if you really did this for a whole year. Now imagine if you did this for 3 years and you start looking at yourself down the line of like, okay, this is the discipline I need. Because I seen what I did in 2 months. Now I'm adding the behaviors, the habits, the roles that I'm always I'm gonna get with, and then things just start coming with you as you go down that path. It can only get better.
So I'm gonna take a right and then take a hard left.
Okay.
So follow me.
Let me strap in. Put the car seat on.
And I ain't had no margarita. I ain't had no shot. Nothing. So here's a right. So my mind is so crazy, and I love fiction. I love movies. I love all that stuff like that. And I always see stuff to where it's just like it's one of those things where it's like. Say it's a movie per se, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like kind of like one of those movies that there's like a guardian angel and they're trying to like push like the character towards something, right. Whatever like that. So in my mind, like call it Jupiter ascending, call it whatever. Say it's like we're all given into houses when we're born, like from a cosmic level. You call it, say let's use zodiacs, Sagittarius, Aries, all that stuff like that. So you have a house, a specific house when you're born, right? Okay. On some Mulan, everybody gets like a Mushu, stuff like that. You can't see this thing. You can't see this person. You know what I'm saying? You can relate it to also Christianity. You can say, oh, God, but God gives me my guardian angel. He gives me things that are going to protect me. He gives me the Holy Spirit, whatever like that. Mm-hmm. And he wants to drive you towards something. If it's God and Christianity, he's driving you towards heaven. If I want to make it more colorful, which was more colorful than that story, but we'll keep expanding it, right? So say you're designated to a house. Okay. And there's rulers of the house, just elders, ancestors of your house, and they're like, all right, cool. This child was born, or this life form was born again. I want to get him to a greater understanding of this universe, so he can ascend to us one day, so he can ascend to this place that we all know, and boom, boom, boom. Right. Now, say within this life, it could be the next leap for a job, the next leap to a humanitarian effort, the next leap to fixing your community, the next leap to breaking a chain or cycle in your family. But then you have the opposition that is, oh man, like if I could really use this person for ignorance, man, like that would be amazing. If I could use this person to just fall in love with their vices, that'd be amazing. Then they'd be serving like me. They'd be serving like this age, like what I'm saying. And say that person is just like the ruler of like the age. So like when it comes to the duality of darkness, whatever like that. Say that person is like they got elected and this is long-winded, but y'all follow me. Please follow me, right?
Don't worry, the clip will get it all together. It's gonna be like, hey, this is the story.
All right. So and say this is like that person wants you, but he wants you for a purpose. Yeah, it's not your purpose, right? But this house, this family, this celestial family, they want you. So now you have like one or two guides or whatever like that. See, like to my old heads, Cusco, Emperor's New Groove, poof, poof. Like, should I do this? Should I do that? Stuff like that. That was it. Gronk had the little fairies. Yeah. So you're always in that battle for such, right? And they're trying to get you to this ascension. They're trying to get you to that, and boom, boom, boom. But every time it's like, all right, cool. Now we all right. He's on the precipice. He just has to give up. TV for a little bit. He just has to give up social media for a little bit. He just has to give up drinking for a little bit. Like, all right, cool. He's right there. He heard the message. We got him again. He's paying attention. Like the Super Bowl. And then, dog, he's drunk as a skunk. Dog, he scrolled on social media for freaking 2 hours and didn't do this. He didn't invest in his family. He didn't boom, boom, boom. Now we're back in square one. How do we get this person to where we want to? How do we get this person here with us? Yeah. We can't wait to meet him. You know what I'm saying? And the spiritual guys, then they're reporting back to the head people, and they're like,
so warfare on the mind.
Warfare on the mind, stuff like that. So I say all this to say, I'm long-winded, man, but this is Power Hour with Tre and AJ, so just follow me, right? I say all this stuff to say, man, when you feel that, I got to switch something up, or like, dang, I could, and you feel like you could do the same thing every day, but you also know that you could grow in certain ways if you gave up this, gave up that. That's something knocking on your freaking door. It's time. It's time. It's past time. They're like, yo, they're waiting for you to get on that highway. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of my reality has shifted in these last few months, this last, I would say, year and a half for sure. A lot of my reality has shifted, and I've had to battle with my discipline. I've had to battle with my understanding of like, yo, like I could fall into this because and let's talk about it now. I could fall into this because that's what's comfortable. That's what helps me cope, but it's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes me
coping, but you're not growing.
Exactly. That's what takes my mind off of this current situation. But again, faith is understanding that my current moment, you know, my destiny and my purpose is greater than my current moment, this current struggle. You know what I'm saying? What's so beautiful over there, if I just sit here, I'll never know. I'll never know. You know what I'm saying?
Never get to see it. I love that, bro. Great analogy. Like you said, long-winded it was.
Long-winded,
but I think hopefully if you stuck around for it,
we'll see.
You got the precipice of it.
That last part, you can cut that one out.
Oh, yeah, no, that's all staying in there. But we're going to call it a wrap in the trap because I do see the red light. Camera's about to go off. I want to make sure we get something clean. As always, man, this is a new segment. Like I said, Powwow with Tre and AJ. So if you're liking what you're seeing, please like, comment, subscribe, follow, all those things. It means a great deal to us because we want to make sure that we're engaging. We're trying to build a community. And I guess a quick shameless plug while we got about a minute and a half. ADJ, always the first hit of the journey, is looking to start a new community of people where we're discussing everything like we're doing now with love, money, relationships, power, struggle, darkness, as this episode is probably going to be called. Yeah. Just figuring out how we can actually do this together rather than just discussing it on the internet. Maybe we get a Discord. Maybe we have people in the community that we can actually go out, meet, reach, touch, have face-to-face conversations. So be on the lookout for the network. We'll be having a live event happening, special edition. DJ Tre, I don't know.
Jamal Jams, DJ
Jamal Jams will be on the ones and twos in the building. So not only will you get a deep conversation, you'll get some good vibes. So like I said, man, it's Powwow with Tre and AJ. We appreciate you, and we'll see you when we see you.
Peace.